Encanto is a Disney movie that really brought edge to a different topic nowadays. Personally, I believe that Disney really kicked off on this movie. A lot of people have been wondering if there will be a second movie. Guess what, guys? It's official. A second movie will be releasing. So stay tuned to find out when it will happen and learn some new knowledge about Encanto. If you guys don't know what Encanto is, I'll give a brief description on it from my own words. Encanto is a 2021 American computer animated musical fantasy comedy film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Encanto premiered at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles on November 3rd, 2021. Upon release, Encanto received critical acclaim for its characterization, music, animation, voice acting, emotional depths. I'm gonna just go in a tiny bit into the plot of the movie, just a tiny bit in my own words. An armed conflict forces Pedro and Alma Madrigal, a young married couple, to flee their home village in Colombia with their infant triplets, Julieta, Peppa, and Bruno. The attackers kill Pedro, but Alma's candle magically repels the attackers and creates Casita, the Senate house for the family located in Encanto, a magical realm bordered by high mountains. 50 years later, a new village thrives under the candle's protection, and its magic grants gifts to each Madrigal descendant at the age of 5, which they use to serve the villagers. However, Bruno, vividly and scapegoated for his gift of seeing the future, disappeared 10 years earlier, when Julieta's youngest daughter, 15-year-old Mirabel, had mysteriously received no gift. On the evening when 5-year-old Antonio gains the ability to communicate with animals, Mirabel suddenly sees Casita attacking, and the candle's flame flickering. But her warnings go unheeded when Casita appears undamaged to older sister Lucida, who confesses to the feeling of overwhelmed by her near constant obligations, then suggests that Bruno's room in a forbidden tower in Casita may explain the phenomenon. There, Mirabel discovers a cave and barely escapes it when some pieces of slab of opaque emerald glass in one hand. Outside, Lucida discovers that her gift is weakening after her family reminds her and sees a picture of Casita cracking behind her. Later that evening, Mirabel's oldest sister, Isabella, who can make plants and flowers grow at will, is scheduled to become engaged to neighbor Mariana Guzman. Their proposal and an awkward dinner, Dolores, who possesses superhuman hearing, reveals Mirabel's discovery to everybody, causing Casito to crack again, ruining the night in Mariano's proposal. When the weather controlling Peppa inevitably showers a downpour. Amidst the chaos, Mirabel follows a group of rats and discovers a secret passage behind a portrait. When she finds Bruno, who reveals he never left the house and he broke the vision to save Mirabel in Antonio's room. Bruno reluctantly conjures another vision that reassembles the previous one, along with Mirabel embracing Isabella and strengthening the candle. Mirabel reluctantly apologizes to Isabella, who abruptly confesses that she does not want to marry Mariano, and is burdened by her image of perfection. Mirabella helps Isabella develop her powers, and the two embrace, but Alma sees the pair and accuses Mirabel of causing the family misfortune out of spite for not having a gift. Mirabel eventually snaps at Alma for not deeming her good enough for the family, blaming her of overbearing nature for weakening the family's magic. This argument creates a fissure that splits a nearby mountain and demolishes the casita as the candle extinguishes, leaving the Madrigals powerless. Several hours later, Alma finds a tearful Mirabel back at the river where Pedro died and explains her tragic backstory and how determined to preserve the magic and how she ignored how her expectations were harming the family and finally accepting responsibility for what happened. Mirabel and Alma reconciled, and the two, both Bruno and Toe, assembled the Madrigals to rebuild the casita, with the townsfolk joining in. Mirabel installs a new doorknob to the main door, restoring the family's gifts and reviving Casito. She and Bruno join the family for another photo. So that's a quick summary of the beginning of the movie. It's a very, very interesting movie. You guys should definitely watch till the end to really find out what's going to happen with the second movie. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is tweets from Disney's Encanto. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at is from Disney's Encanto. It says, "Here's the vision. See, Disney's Encanto has made its return to the big screen this weekend." This really shows that Disney Encanto is it's a really big movie and could definitely make it far and could maybe even make a second movie. The second tweet is something from Disney's Encanto that says, "Discover more magic. Get Disney's Encanto on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray with limited time exclusive offers from Target, Walmart, and Best Buy." This right here might just be the biggest indicator of a second movie being released. The next tweet from Disney's Encanto is the actress that played Mirabel, which is the main character in Disney's Encanto. The next tweet says, "We Don't Talk About Bruno" from Encanto becomes just the second song from a Disney movie to top the Billboard Hot 100 in history. Now, "We Don't Talk About Bruno" is by far the greatest song in 2022 alone. And I think that they're really indicating the second movie is being released by saying that it's becoming the second greatest song. And for all we know, Pop Data Music may be publishing and producing the next movie. The next tweet is from Milter.mp4. He says, "I think a series like the Big Hero 6 one would be better than a second movie. Guess what? We hate you, Milter.mp4. You suck. You're wrong." And we're going to be looking at a different tweet that says otherwise. The next tweet is from II Ren Senpai that says, "A lot of Disney movies don't get a second movie, but this one really does deserve one." And I think that II Ren Senpai really, really indicated their point, and I couldn't agree more. The last tweet that we're going to be looking at is from Ashley Ann Delgado that says, "When's the second and final movie trailer for Encanto?" And a lot of people will look at this from the naked point of view of a human. Would look at this and say, "Oh, well, this is just the second movie trailer for the first movie." But no, it's the other way around. I think that Ashley Ann Delgado will actually be producing the second movie. They're not official on Twitter. They have 10 followers, and I think that they could be a secret account that is releasing the second movie. We all know that Disney has been the leader in the animated film world. While their older films like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and Little Mermaid have gone on to become the classics of the years since their release. The studio's latest release is Encanto. The film is co-directed by Brian Howard and Jared Bush, who previously worked together on Zootopia. Questions of a sequel have already begun to swirl around the project, with fans wondering if they'll get a chance to see those characters in another story. As of right now, a sequel to Encanto has not yet been announced. However, just because it is not yet to be announced doesn't mean it's unlikely to happen. The ending of the film does not shut the door a possibility of a sequel, and Disney has not shied away from the sequels in the past. Frozen stands as a notable example of a film that was originally conceived without a sequel in mind, and is almost a full year after the film's release before talk of the sequel even began in earnest. However, audiences did not end up getting Frozen 2 in 2019. It is quite plausible that the same thing might happen with Encanto as well. From a commercial perspective, Encanto earned $40.6 million domestically over the Thanksgiving weekend when it was released. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to be notified for the next video on Encanto. This is just the first part.